Hi, this is Ernie. I'm that guy who had $6 in his checking account to now having millions of dollars. Another IPO hit the market, and I want to take a look at it. And also, I want to give you an update on Klarna. Some people are expecting this to go 100%, but it's actually good. And not every IPO will go 100% when it first trades. If you remember, when Facebook first went public, they did not do well. Wingstop also did not do well. Square, where I made 11x or 12x return, it also did not do well. So I'm actually glad that it's doing really well, like 13% gain. It was as high as like 20 some percent. But with an expectation like this, it's not going to drop like the way Figma or Bullish has dropped. So I think it's actually a good thing. But anyway, there's another one that's on the deck. So let's take a look at it and figure out what this is. And I also want to give you another update on how many shares I got, because on Robinhood, I think I only got 7 shares of Klarna, but on SoFi, I was able to get 21. So it's hit or miss. Like my friend got only 1 share. I ended up getting 21, although he has more money in that account than I do. So I really don't know how the algorithm works. But anyway, let's go to the new IPO that they just recently posted, and we'll go into the financials and all that. Again, this is SoFi, and for those who are wondering whether it's still worth investing, look at my past week, 10% return. So money sitting there in stocks and ETFs, it's generating 10% return, $2,311. And I don't have that much money in this particular account, but it's still growing. So if you want to put it into a savings account, you might want to consider putting into an investment account. But anyway, if you open an account, if you go to my profile, there's a link for SoFi. If you open an account, they give you free $25. So utilize that to open it so that you'll be able to have access to IPO as well. It's an amazing tool. It's like a one-stop shop for you to manage all your finances. I absolutely love the CEO as well as the app and everything this company does. But anyway, let's go to the IPO. And if you go to the investment section, there's something called Visit IPO Investing. And you click on this, and you're going to see all the IPOs that's available on SoFi. Figure is not available here. I don't know the reason why. So that's why some people say, hey, why do you have so many different accounts? Yeah, because Figure is not available here, but it's available in Robinhood. So I want to be able to participate in that. That's why I have multiple accounts. But anyway, pattern. Let's look at pattern. This is the one that just came out. And for those who are not familiar with this company, so they're trying to get $13 to $15. That's what you are seeing here. It's an e-commerce accelerator. For those who are not familiar with what they do, they don't help you to sell directly to customers. They help you to sell on platforms like Amazon, Walmart, Target, eBay, TikTok, Mercado Libre. All these places, they're using AI, they're using data technology, everything you could possibly do, and they're doing an amazing job. But besides that, let's just go to the prospectus, and you need to go all the way to the right, and you're going to click on here, and you'll see everything you need to know about the company. So let's start from the description. Yeah, they help you go to e-commerce marketplaces, look at the transactions that they have done, like revenue, $1.8 billion, e-commerce data points, like they have patents, they have retention. Oh, apparently people love their product. So the retention rate is incredibly high. And a lot of people, once they sign up, they don't leave. And these are testimonials that you get from their clients. It's an amazing company, and they're doing incredibly well. So we're going to go to index to consolidated financial statements, and we're going to look at that. So first line is the revenue. So we're going to go and take a look at the revenue. Sorry about the shaky screen. I'll try to get a better tripod. So in 2022, they were generating less than $1 billion in revenue, right? So this is in thousands. And then they grew about 30% and got to $1.3 billion in revenue. And then now they're about $1.8 billion. So this is another gain of what, 30%? 30% comes out to be 400. Yeah, about 30%, little over 30% revenue growth. That's incredible of company of this size. And if you go to the bottom, this is where the net loss or income is coming. So white line. So you're going to see that they used to lose money, about $2.9 million. But 2003, they're profitable. In 2024, they're even more profitable. So a company that's growing double digit, like 30% is incredible year over year, and is profitable already, and people love their products, that once they are on their platform, people just don't leave. This is a recipe for a company that's going to continue to do well. Here's the downside though. The major downside is that 94% of their revenue is coming from Amazon. So if they piss them off, or the partnership does not last, or something happens like pricing structure, fee structure, something happens, that profit that you saw of $42 million in 2024, that could totally be wiped out. So they're at Amazon's mercy. And I think they probably know this and they need to start diversifying. But given the sheer size of Amazon, I don't know if that's possible. Maybe they can go down to 80s or 70%, but I don't think they can go any lower than that. So that is the biggest risk that I've identified so far. And with growth stocks like this, you don't typically worry too much about P ratio, right? Price to earning. I mean, if you look at NVIDIA or if you look at Palantir, it's ridiculous. But a company like this, compared to their peers, like Shopify or somebody else, the number actually is incredibly high. I think it's like 62% or 62 or 63 P ratio. So there is a little bit of a concern that it might not do as well. But given how hot the IPO market is, I'm not going to put a lot of money in there. I'm just going to put a little bit of money to see what I can get and hopefully able to ride this while IPO is doing incredibly well. And there's a similar company that it's not exactly the same, but there's a company out of Israel called Global E that helps company to go global, right? So translating the website, having the logistic partners, warehousing, return services, everything. That went IPO, I think around like $23 or $24, took off to 80 and then came back down and now trading at $36. And it was a painful process. People who sold it after 30-day flipping policy, they made money. But for those who missed that boat or bought it incredibly high, yeah, they were holding their bag for a very, very long time. Anyway, it's passed my smell test. That's why I put an indication of interest. And hopefully it will do well. Yep, hopefully it will do well. But I know you're going to have a lot of questions about this. So feel free to reach out through comments and I'll respond to you within 24 hours. And please, for contents like this, videos like this, how to generate weekly income, how to do research and all that, please don't forget to follow. Don't forget to like and repost as well. And tell your friends and family members so that you guys can do this together as a family or group of friends, which makes it a lot more interesting. And don't forget to go to my profile, open a SoFi account so that you'll be able to get free $25. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.